Okay, so you're into fasting. You probably already know about like some of the benefits, right? But did you know that what you eat after your fast, it might be even more important than the fast itself? Crazy, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what recent research is suggesting. The refeeding period. Yeah, that might actually be the key to unlocking the most powerful regenerative benefits.
So today we're diving deep into this fascinating study from nature. It's all about like the cellular mechanisms at play during fasting. And get this, it's based on some pretty cool research in mice. Get ready to rethink everything you thought you knew about fasting.
Yeah, one of the most intriguing things about this study is how it highlights the role of stem cells in the gut.
Stem cells, those are the cells that can basically like transform into any other type of cell, right? So what do they have to do with fasting?
Well, so it turns out that when you fast, the stem cells in your gut, they switch from using carbs for energy to burning fat.
So instead of reaching for that donut, our stem cells are like, let's hit the gym and burn some fat.
Yeah, exactly.
But wait, if stem cells are already good at repairing things, why does fasting make such a big difference?
That's a great question. This shift to fat burning, that actually enhances the stem cell's ability to repair damage in your intestines. And this could be a big part of why fasting has so many benefits for gut health, like reducing inflammation and boosting your gut's ability to heal from damage.
Okay, so fasting basically preps our gut for a superhero level repair job. But then what happens when you break the fast? What happens then?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. The study found that um, stem cell activity and multiplication, it actually peak during the refeeding period, not during the fast itself.
Hold on, so it's not the fasting that's doing the heavy lifting, it's the refeeding. That changes everything.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. It means we need to be paying much closer attention to what we eat after a fast. It's not just about breaking the fast, it's about providing the right fuel for those supercharged stem cells to do their job effectively.
So we're creating like the perfect environment for those stem cells to thrive and rebuild. I'm starting to understand why this refeeding period is so crucial.
Yeah, it is. It is crucial. And there's another layer to this that we need to explore. While this increased stem cell activity is great for repair, there's there's a potential risk that comes along with it.
Uh-oh. I sense a plot twist coming.
The researchers, they looked at what happened when mice had a cancer-causing gene activated during the refeeding period. And they found that these mice, they were more likely to develop precancerous polyps in their intestines than mice that didn't fast.
So you're saying that eating after a fast could actually increase the risk of cancer. Now you've got me worried.
No, no, no. It's not. It's not that simple. It's important to remember that these mice were specifically engineered to be more vulnerable to cancer. The study isn't saying that eating causes cancer. It's highlighting that the refeeding period, it creates a state where cells are dividing rapidly.
So the refeeding period is this powerful window of opportunity for healing, but we need to be careful because it could also accelerate the growth of like any pre-existing issues.
Exactly. While it's beneficial for repair, if there are if there are any cells already predisposed to becoming cancerous, they might get caught up in the rapid division and multiply too.
Okay, so this is where things get a little more complicated. We've got this incredible potential for regeneration, but also like a potential downside. What does all of this mean for the average person who's interested in fasting?
That's uh, that's the million-dollar question. And the scientific community, they're still trying to figure out all the implications. Some experts, like Walter Longo, he's a biogerontologist. He thinks this research could be a game changer for targeted tissue regeneration,
Mm.
especially for conditions like Crohn's disease and colitis.
Crohn's and colitis, those are both serious inflammatory bowel diseases, right? And they affect millions of people.
That's right. And Longo believes that by understanding how fasting activates stem cells, we could potentially use it to treat these conditions and many more.
So instead of just thinking about fasting as like a general health practice, we could actually use it as like a targeted tool to repair specific parts of the body. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And on the other side of the debate, you have experts like Nada Kalani. She's a specialist in cancer metabolism. And she emphasizes that the pre-existing vulnerability, that is the key factor here, not eating itself. So it's not about avoiding food altogether. It's about understanding, the delicate balance.
So for someone who is otherwise healthy, the benefits of fasting might outweigh the risks. Is that what we're saying?
It seems that way, but it's crucial to remember that this research was done on mice, more research is needed, especially in humans. And as always, if you're considering incorporating fasting into your routine, talk to your doctor first, especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions.
That makes a lot of sense. We're learning so much about this vulnerable state our bodies enter when we break a fast. What I'm taking away from all of this is that we need to be extra mindful of like what's happening at a cellular level during that time. It's not just about stuffing our faces after a fast.
I agree. It's about nourishing our bodies in a way that supports healthy regeneration.
So it sounds like the refeeding period is almost like a tightrope walk. We've got this incredible opportunity to like boost our body's healing power, you know? But we also need to be like really careful about not tipping the scales in the wrong direction. What can we actually do to make sure we're supporting healthy regeneration during that critical time?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. And that's where things get really practical. We need to shift our mindset from just breaking the fast to actually nourishing our bodies with the right building blocks for repair.
So it's not just about what we don't eat during the fast, but also about what we do eat when we break it.
Exactly. While more research is needed, especially in humans, it seems like a balanced and nutritious diet during the refeeding period. Yeah, that's key.
Okay, so it's not an excuse to like binge on junk food just because you've been fasting. Got it.
Definitely not. And remember, those mice in the study, they were genetically modified to be uh, more susceptible to cancer. That's a really important point to keep in mind.
Right. So for most people who don't have those, specific genetic vulnerabilities, the risks might be different.
That's right. It's not about, uh, demonizing food or saying that eating after a fast is going to cause cancer. It's about understanding that there are certain vulnerabilities that might be amplified during the refeeding period, especially when cells are rapidly dividing.
Okay. So for someone who's generally healthy and doesn't have any like known genetic predispositions, the benefits of fasting probably outweigh the risks. But it's always wise to be cautious and, mindful of what we're eating, especially after fasting.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible approach. And as with any dietary changes, pay attention to how your body responds and talk to your doctor if you have any concerns.
Yeah, our bodies are usually pretty good at telling us what they need, right? Now, we've talked a lot about stem cells today. They seem to be like the real stars of the show when it comes to fasting. We know they switch from using carbs to burning fat during a fast. But what exactly is happening to them during the refeeding period? What triggers that surge in activity and multiplication that we talked about earlier?
That's a great question. The researchers, they found that this surge, it's linked to the production of molecules called polyamines.
Polyamines. Those sound pretty intense. What are they exactly?
Well, they're essential molecules that play a crucial role in cell growth and division. Think of them as like the fuel that powers those stem cells to multiply and repair. During the refeeding period, polyamine production spikes, and that signals those stem cells to go into overdrive.
So the refeeding period is like this perfect storm of conditions for those stem cells. They've got the energy from burning fat during the fast. They've got the building blocks from the food we eat when we break the fast. And now they've got this extra boost from polyamines. It's like they're ready to go out and conquer the world.
Exactly. That's why this research is so exciting. It's giving us a glimpse into these amazing and intricate processes happening inside our bodies.
It really feels like we're like cracking the code of regeneration. But we've also got to remember that with great power comes great responsibility, right? We can't just throw caution to the wind and expect our bodies to do all the work.
Absolutely. We need to, we need to move away from the idea that fasting is just about deprivation. It's a complex biological process that involves breaking down and building up.
It's not just about what we don't eat. It's about how we support our body's ability to heal and regenerate. How do we strike that balance and make sure we're, getting the most out of fasting without putting ourselves at risk?
There's still so much we're learning. But I think this research really points to the importance of, personalized approaches. What works for one person might not work for another. And listening to our bodies and working with healthcare professionals can help us, navigate this new understanding of fasting.
Speaking of different perspectives, I know there's been some debate in the scientific community about the broader implications of this research. Some researchers are really like excited about the potential for targeted therapies using fasting.
Right. Valtolongo, for example, he believes that by understanding how fasting activates stem cells, we could develop treatments for a whole range of conditions.
Hmm.
Imagine being able to use fasting to like accelerate wound healing or
Yeah.
even slow down aging.
Wow. That sounds almost futuristic. It's like using our own body's natural abilities to heal and repair themselves. But other researchers are a bit more cautious about, overhyping the benefits of fasting, right?
That's right. Experts like Nada Kalani are emphasizing the importance of not, you know, promoting fasting as a one-size-fits-all solution or a cure-all.
So it's about approaching fasting with a balanced perspective and making sure it's like the right choice for each individual.
Exactly. And understanding that it's not a, magic bullet, but a powerful tool that can be used strategically to improve our health and well-being.
This whole deep dive has really shifted how I think about fasting. It's not just about willpower or like losing weight. It's about harnessing these incredible regenerative powers that our bodies, already possess.
That's a great way to put it. It's about working with our bodies, not against them.
Now, I have one more question about those stem cells. They go through all these changes during fasting and refeeding. What happens to them once the refeeding period is over? Do they just go back to their like normal state?
That's where things get even more interesting. And it's a question that researchers are still exploring. One theory is that even after the refeeding period ends, these stem cells, they might retain some memory of the fasting experience.
Memory. You mean like they've learned something from the experience and they're kind of like permanently changed?
That's the idea. It's like they've been trained to be more efficient and resilient.
So even if we only fast occasionally, those stem cells could be like primed to respond more effectively to future challenges or stressors.
That's what some researchers are suggesting, and this could have long-term implications for our overall, health and longevity.
It's almost like we're giving our bodies a cellular upgrade every time we fast.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it really highlights the incredible adaptive capabilities of our bodies.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about how fasting impacts our gut health, how the refeeding period is this crucial window of opportunity for regeneration, and how those amazing stem cells play a starring role in this whole, process. We've also touched on the potential risks, the need for more research, and the importance of like personalized approaches. What are some of the key takeaways you want our listener to walk away with today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that fasting is far more complex and nuanced than we used to think. It's not just about deprivation. It's about triggering these powerful internal mechanisms that can help us heal and rejuvenate.
And that the refeeding period isn't just an afterthought, right? It's a critical piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. What we eat after a fast, it matters. We need to provide our bodies with the right nutrients to support healthy regeneration.
And this isn't just about like preventing negative outcomes, it's about maximizing the potential benefits.
Absolutely. And that brings it to another key takeaway. Knowledge is power. The more we understand about the science of fasting, the better equipped we are to make informed decisions about our health.
I couldn't agree more. We've learned so much today about the fascinating world of fasting and its surprising powers. It's a constantly evolving field, and there's still, so much to discover. But the knowledge we have now can already empower us to make positive changes in our lives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the surprising powers of fasting, what are some final thoughts for our listeners?
That's a good question. What do you think? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think this new research, it's really revolutionizing how we think about fasting. We're moving away from the simplistic idea that it's just about deprivation and starting to understand it as this incredibly uh, dynamic biological process.
Yeah, totally. It's like we've been focusing on just one side of the coin, the fasting period, without realizing that the flip side, the refeeding period, is just as important, if not more so.
Exactly. It's this intricate dance between breaking down and building up. And understanding this dance can help us uh, unlock the true potential of fasting for, improving our health.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. This whole conversation has definitely like made me see fasting in a whole new light. I used to think of it as this ancient practice focused on, spiritual discipline or weight loss, but now I see it as a powerful tool to tap into my body's own, healing
It
abilities.
really is like hitting the reset button on our biology.
Right.
But here's something I want you to think about. We've talked about how the refeeding period is this vulnerable state where cells are rapidly dividing. Could we potentially develop ways to protect ourselves during that time?
Oh, interesting. So are there like specific things we can do to make sure we're not just, repairing damage, but actually optimizing that regeneration process?
Well, researchers are exploring that right now. There might be certain nutrients, antioxidants, or even lifestyle changes that could, enhance the benefits of fasting and mitigate any potential risks.
So it's not just about what we eat after a fast, but about like creating the optimal environment for our bodies to thrive.
Exactly. Things like sleep, stress management, and even the health of our gut microbiome, all of that plays a role.
Wow, this deep dive has given us so much to think about. It's clear that fasting is a complex topic, and the more we learn, the more questions we have. What advice would you give our listener who's ready to explore this further?
Well, first, remember that knowledge is power. Keep learning about the science of fasting and stay curious. There are tons of resources available, books, articles, research studies. And as always, talk to your healthcare provider to see if fasting is right for you and to make sure you're doing it, safely and effectively.
That's great advice. It's been amazing exploring the world of fasting with you today. We've uncovered this incredible potential for regeneration and repair, but we've also, highlighted the importance of a balanced and informed approach.
Yeah, this research is truly groundbreaking. And it's exciting to think about the possibilities for improving human health as we learn more.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the Deep Dive. We hope you've enjoyed this journey into the surprising powers of fasting. Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.